Namaste, Tauruses and Taurus Risings, and welcome to Soul Horoscope Super Scopes. My name is Christopher Witecki. I'm a modern mystic, and I now call myself the Sensei to Serious Joy. I believe serious joy is just 11 steps away, and no matter what sign you are or who you are on earth, you are perfect. You just probably have some things out of step. And when you're a Taurus or a Taurus Rising, you are good at step 10. Step 10 is where you love and you trust, and it starts to manifest. So you're a natural-born manifester on earth. I think the old astrology would call you materialistic. I would call you magical. It's really about what your heart is going after, frankly. And so what have you been going after? Well, in the last 30 days, we're about to wrap up a transit with the sun in Aquarius. And so Tauruses and Taurus Risings, both alike, were going after their career. It was career, decision, control, management, legacy. And it doesn't end. This week you're going to be tested on the final steps of light casting your career. And so between Saturday and Tuesday, you'll be tested on all those career decisions, all those legacy issues, and I'll go more into that. Then you're going to shift into the next 30-day lesson, which will be I belong. Where do the Tauruses belong? Now, this is a very sensitive issue because the context in which you feel yourself in, goes all the way back to childhood. It's some very deep, deep soul work. And so we're going to look at where your heart feels like it belongs or doesn't belong. Do you feel like you belong at the popular table or not? Do you think you belong at the front of the line or the end of the line? Does your heart feel like it belongs next to the smart people or not next to the smart people? I don't care the way it is on earth. I'm asking what your heart believes, because that's the sense of context. And in AMIT and all the things that I teach how to step into serious joy by stepping into our heart. And once we step into our heart, we know where we belong because it's heart-centric. The law of attraction is heart-centric. So unfortunately, the first step of this might be a little difficult, I have to say, because as we move into our context consciousness, we move into our belonging and we move into our friendships and where our friendships really are. So the Tauruses and the Taurus Risings, oops, I'm all over the map this week, are going to have a huge test of faith about career and a huge test of faith about legacy. And then you're going to move into discovering where you have false belonging, discovering where your heart has wanted some sort of success that really it didn't want. You thought your heart wanted to be popular with these people. Your heart thought it wanted this or thought it wanted that, but maybe it really doesn't. And so this is some deep spiritual healing and the beginning of some deep spiritual healing. And it really is in context consciousness. So I guess I have to say, Taurus and Taurus Risings, this week, you might be very much tested on a career, and then it might be your career and issues with your career that go wrong or don't go right, let's say, or maybe that people don't understand what you're trying to do, or maybe the launch doesn't go so well, or maybe the launch goes off wrong or late, or, you know, it's a career maybe faux pas, but it's not about that, I don't think, Taurus. I think it's about your heart and where that career is aiming for. Is your heart aiming to be something in the world it's not? Is your heart aiming to be who it is in the world? Is your heart being who it is in the world, but the world is not necessarily showing up for you? Now, there's a lot of other stories going on besides Tauruses in the world, and I'll lay them out for you. No matter what happens this week, Taurus and Taurus Risings have got to continue to innovate your own inner faith. So you have to have faith in yourself more every day. All right? Secondly, we're going to talk a lot about this in the GA Venus Network, but self-compassion. Self-compassion and self-mercy is the lubricant that allows us to look at things honestly. So self-compassion is extremely important for Tauruses. Also, to be mindful of your thoughts and make sure that your thoughts are mindful of your emotion. That's another thing. Taurus often so concerned about the world's feelings. What about your feelings, Taurus, Taurus Rising? How do you feel? And it takes your mind to be mindful of your emotion. So you can see it's a whole symphony orchestra inside of us. And the last thing that's super important is emotional boundaries with Saturn and Scorpio. This is where Taurus and Taurus Risings have got to be very strong for yourself emotionally about certain things, like your weakness for chocolate and your weakness for girls in bikinis and your weakness for watermelon this, right? Like these little weaknesses, which are really weaknesses of you being there for yourself emotionally. These have to be tended to because they spill out on the world, and right now they really spill out on the world, and right now you're looking at your reputation on the world or with the world. And let's take another couple steps back in the sense of, well, we're talking about being emotionally strong for us. Well, we can't be emotionally strong for ourselves unless we're mindful of our emotions, which means that when we're out there in the world, we have to be mindful of how we feel, not how they feel. And we have to be mindful of where our boundaries are so our boundaries don't spill out on them. And this is all part of the dynamics of being a Taurus and why you have to have innovation in faith, right? It's very complicated. I know. It's where the planets are right now. So to sum up this week for Taurus and Taurus Risings, you'll be tested in the first half of the week on career and decisions and whatnot. Then the second half of the week, it's going to unveil where you have issues with your heart belonging in the right or wrong context in the world. And you're going to discover this through any of the other areas I described. But it's really about, is my heart in the right room in the first place? Am I meant to be here? We're not meant to be everything to everyone. We're meant to be everything to ourselves. And then find someone who's okay with that. That's the natural law of attraction. So let's look at the VQs. The VQs, of course, are your Venus quotient, your capacity to love on Earth. And for the 10 VQs this week, it's actually about belief. So if you're a Taurus Rising, or a 10 VQ, this week your love story is about whether or not you believe in your love story. Your love story is about whether or not you accept and receive the idea, notion, and the concepts on the big picture. So Taurus and Taurus Risings and 10 VQs are struggling for understanding belief. And this week, you're going to really have to act on that belief you say you're subscribing to. So before you have evidence of the love story or the success, you're going to have to give and receive with business with the world according to what you believe so far. And your belief and your philosophy about the way love should be is actually creating the love will be, but later. Okay, this is for the 10 VQs. This is for the Tauruses and Taurus Rising. So the love story for those three is that you need to focus on being true to your own romantic ideals and poetry of love, and then you'll hold the space for that potential soon. And I'll let you know when. So hey, I want to invite everyone down to soulmart.me. This is the little capital where I have everything, the shows, the horoscopes, and you can join GA Venus. Now, come join ladies GA Venus for a week. It's the first week is free. It's $19.95 a month, and I take your personal chart and we digest it with the staff. And what I do is send with text at the right moment and right time to keep you on the right path. You got to try it to believe it. Come on down and give it a try. It's using my new technology called Gaia, all this cool stuff, and it's for the ladies. Gentlemen, I will have something like this eventually for you, but right now I'm getting it right for the ladies. And don't forget the Megascopes are available for immediate download, where I will go into the depths of what Pisces means for you, and that also holds true for anyone who has a rising sign that's Taurus. So for Taurus Suns and Taurus Risings, the February Megascopes will tell you what's going to go down here when it comes to your social reputation and when you can expect tests and when you can expect to bounce up. So if you want to know how the story ends, check it out in the February Megascope. All right, that's all I have for this week. I am so grateful, my fellow bulls. I'll see you in 7 days with more. Until then, live, love, be.